proud to stand here and to talk to you as the first chairman of the Berkeley Middle East Investors Club. The history of this club is actually going back to the Berkeley Middle East Investment Forum, which since decades already was a vehicle to organize and implement some different investments all over the planet. It was an enormous success, and we have been approached by many different countries and individuals. So the vision of the club is clear. We want to bring all those elements, all those factors together, which are important to have a successful investment business. That's, of course, on one hand, the investors, the one who has the money, who has is even happy to invest money somewhere, and on the other side, an investee, someone who needs the money and can show attractive projects to invest in. And in between these two ends are a lot of specialists needed to make it a successful project. We need those professionals who are here to implement. We have the advisors who know exactly what is needed in different countries in order to have a successful implementation. We have organized a lot of expert committees who can, in different directions of the industry, be it in agriculture, be it in mining, be it in infrastructure, be it in even hospitality or healthcare, who come along with a huge and long expertise in this environment, who can advise what to do that is going to be a successful.
We have created this club based on a need that a lot of projects were finding investments, and a lot of investors are finding for projects. I feel there's no appropriate platform which is creating a link between an investor and a project with special focus on alternative investments. That's why we pool the experts of the investment industry, and we pool up investors who are categorized as millionaire, billionaire, and some are huge size, some are small size investors, and we create a community in the shape of this investment club. This club focuses on bringing value in investment industry. Our focus is always to help the governments and the private organizations to raise capital, to secure some projects and deliver a better value to the investment industry.
An important part of a club, of course, is as well the member. Therefore, we have different levels of memberships. We have the billionaire, millionaire memberships, which is actually reserved for those high-level individuals who are actually typically those who come to have a look where to invest, who are interested in lucrative and alternative investments. We have as well the professional memberships, professional and SME memberships. These are more those members who are actually here then to find some assignments, to help to implement, who have already experience in these regions where the investment should be done, and who can help on the spot to implement these projects. And then, last but not least, very important, we have as well the diplomat members, because we would like to have all those government bodies on board as well. These are the people who can grant environment in their nations, in their homes, where this investment can be implemented fruitfully. So we are here to make the world a better place. We are here to help wherever needed to do the necessary investments to have the local people living on a better level, living a better life. And we do that with our very strongly defined values like integrity, professionalism, credibility, accountability, and ethical behavior. I hope to see you somewhere in our club, even probably maybe sometime as a member. Thank you.
welcome you in the Business Global Leadership Women Conference. This is a series of conferences that we do every month, and today we have very interesting panelists on board, and they have success stories. They are really impressive, and I'm sure that this evening will be full of knowledge and thought sharings. I want to thank Berkeley Middle East Training and Berkeley Investor Club and Berkeley and MS Women Foundation to arrange this lovely opportunity and invite me for sharing the thoughts with all the audience and the speakers. We will start our formal discussion shortly. I want to introduce you about the Women Foundation that we are working with, its objectives, and what are the projects that we are excited and we are working on them. So, first of all, it's a pleasure to share the thoughts in terms of Global Women Foundation. This foundation is doing an amazing job in order to create an awareness in the women for their rights and for their voice. We believe that women should go in parliaments, they should take the local government's seats, and they should be in the provincial and national assemblies, because if they are in the leadership, they can do miracles. They can do a lot of interesting things, and they can make laws who can help women in large to support the other women. They can work on business support packages. They can work on making women as financially independent. So it's a very, very important thing that we tell women to recognize their talents and they come in leadership role. That's really, really can change the world. And women in business is really important. If you see, the economy is almost 30 to 40% of the global economy is comprises on SMEs, small, medium enterprises, and most of them are owned by women. So if we focus on SMEs and we make business women more dynamic and help them in businesses, this can also play a very interesting role. We want to create the free education atmosphere in each country, mostly the developing country we are focused on, because the developed countries already women has a lot of rights, right of study, right to marriage, right to do whatever she wants within the cultural boundaries. So free education, we want in developing country where women is still considered as a burden. So what we can do is we can arrange a free education from nursery to the university. It will be very, very dynamic, and these women, once get educated, can be a better doctors, engineers, chartered accountants, and lawyers, and businessmen. So education is a basic right, but in developing country, women is far away from that. So promoting education is one of our key objectives. Top of it, we want healthcare, because most of the countries, they are not looking healthcare of a woman in a way as the developed countries has already taken. So we want that women should get access to the healthcare, and in that perspective, healthcare is at the doorstep, where there's no more death from pregnancies, there's no breast cancers, and there are no. So as we increase the health awareness, things will get better and better. And of course, justice is the basic thing that can drive our national integrity. So we need to provide women the justice at the doorstep, because typically in developing countries, we can see that the woman is far away from the justice, because justice system is required, and woman is the most exploited. The people don't give her right to property. She don't get inheritance if she's living alone. There are a lot of mafias who can occupy her home, and they don't let them a free life. So these are the big issues that we all has to work, men and women has to work on these matters. So we created some interesting projects, and pleased that these projects are doing great job. So the first project is the free schools for the kids, and these are the ones that will generate target to achieve the education levels. So women's schools or universities. We are working on women technology parks, which does not exist anywhere. Technology is growing, and women role is really important, because uh, women is considered better in terms of the aesthetic sense, artistic abilities. So when it comes to technology development, is either it's a web development, it's a game development, or any other developments, we need women in that. And women, when we bring them in technology, because they know their issues, so by the help of digital media, they can really work better. And most of the developing country, their population is rural, and so the people live in villages, and that's an opportunity where we upgrade the skill of women, and we make it as a woman who is a better farmer. And so we are talking about a woman agriculture city, where a lot of the women can work securely. They have better support and facilities, and they can have better crop. And that is what is really going to help the developing countries, which are mostly the agriculture-based ones. So we do have all other projects as well, which is obviously worthwhile, but because time does not permit me, I have to strict myself. So we are working on women in sports. We are working on women incubation centers, startup support. So any woman listening to me, Berkeley is the right place where you can approach us, where we can have a full support in terms of company registration, opening the bank account, handling your VAT, or making a digital strategy and linking with a better client. These all are under one roof. It's available. Also, it's very important to bring women in media, so they can be better anchors, they can be a better voice, they can have their own magazines, newspapers. So whenever they depict their issues, it will be very, very far-reaching for them. So these are a couple of examples of the project. We do have a lot of projects. If you are interested, you want to contribute, you want to be a volunteer, you are most welcome to join our you can say platform. And with this a small introduction, I would see that who is the first speaker of the day. Hello, Laura. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. It's nice to be here with you this evening.
Thank you very much for joining us. I know you are busy and you take out this time to impress and inspire the audience. So I already have your introduction. Would you mind if you can introduce yourself to our global audience?
definitely. I'm going to keep it short because there's some things I want to share with you just a little bit further on. So just a little bit about me first. I have spent the last 30 years leading large teams and elevating leaders and teams across the globe. And what I've learned actually is that to be our best as a leader, it's a constant investment. We have to keep working on ourselves in order to thrive and to be at our best. So what I do is I help professionals, ambitious professionals, who are either stuck or perhaps they don't know quite which path to take or want to elevate their career to the next level. And I help them determine how to do that. And how? I highlight where people are uniquely strong and vulnerable, and to develop the strengths they need to be at their best, to stand out and to thrive in today's business. So on a personal note, my husband and I have been living in Dubai for nearly 14 years. We have 2 grown-up kids, and we have a cat and 3 big dogs. So we practice conflict management on a regular basis, and I'm pleased to say the cat is showing some very good leadership skills. And I'm here today to share with you some things about how you can be uniquely powerful, authentic, and what it is to develop that as a leader. So thank you, Dr. Musa, for sharing with me.
That's amazing. It's a lovely introduction, and there's a lot of things to learn from you with your experience and expertise. And your topics sound really interesting, and I will not be an obstacle between you and the audience. So I would request you to please start your talk of the day.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to share my screen with you because I have got some slides to share with you. So bear with me and I'll put that together for you now.
Sure. Go ahead.
Can you all see that all right? I hope so.
Yes, it's visible. Yes, great. That's great. Please go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to get started and share some things because I know we don't have that long this evening, and I know that I've got so much to tell you. So we're going to talk really about what makes you uniquely powerful. We hear about authentic leadership. What the hell does that mean? So what I'd like you to think about first is I would like you to think about great leaders. And I'd like you, if you can, to think of 2 leaders who inspire you. Okay? And think about what it is about them that you really admire. Now, the reality is that we hear that to be a great leader, we need all these different leadership characteristics. But if you think about the leaders that you have in mind, and perhaps many others, I know in my mind, I'm thinking immediately of Donald Trump and, let's say, Nelson Mandela. They both are very interesting characters, and love them or hate them, they both have followership. So what that means is that we don't actually need to acquire loads and loads of different characteristics. What we need to do is to think about what we bring as a leader. What is our authentic style? What makes you unique? And I think one of the things I've realized is that we get so busy doing our job and being that we don't often take the time to really pause and reflect on who we are and what we bring to the table. So this is really what this is about specifically now. And I would like you to use this time to think about what's good for you. Okay? As Steve Jobs says, we're all here to put a dent in the universe. Otherwise, why even be here? So what kind of legacy do you want to leave? What's your purpose? We all need a purpose, right? Because if we don't have a goal in mind, we're going to just aimlessly go through life and we might end up living part of somebody else's purpose. So think very strongly. What really motivates you? What is it that you really, really want to feel that you're achieving as a leader? I want to share a little bit about me and how I got to where I am. So, as I said to you, 30 years, honestly, after being successful at raising leaders and teams, I honestly thought I'd nailed it. I thought I knew exactly what it took to engage people and to ensure that they thrived. And then 8 years ago, here in Dubai, I had a terrible accident. I was a runner. I was hit by a car one day when I was out running, and I was thrown 30 feet. And I smashed most of my body. My feet even came off. My mother always said, if you're going to do something well, do it really well. And honestly, in this case, I really did. Now, I originally faced amputation, double amputation, but my legs were sewn on. And doctors thought that amongst all my serious injuries, I would never walk again. But honestly, truly, I didn't want to just survive. That was important. I made a choice that I'd survive. I didn't want to die, but I wanted to really thrive. And so I really got myself together thinking about what I could do. I started working when I came out of the high dependency ward. I delivered my first training in a wheelchair 11 weeks after the accident. And I continued to work and work and work. And I've had 17 surgeries so far to rebuild me, and I have more ahead. And I've not allowed this to reduce me or make me smaller in my life. And people said, how are you so resilient? And I thought, I don't know. So I took the time and I studied positive psychology. I did a deep dive on resilience, learned optimism, appreciative inquiry, and I became a Gallup strengths coach. Because what I realized is actually we have a huge amount of personal resources literally at our fingertips that we're often not even aware that we have. And so what I did, it made me really focus that we can all be prepared to be our best if we know how. And I learned how. I learned the strategies, I learned all the things. And I thought, if I can do this, I felt my purpose was then really to help others, not to showcase my own superpowers, but to help others showcase theirs. And so it really changed not changed my direction, but focused my direction about what was really important to me, what really mattered. And so, as I said, I became a Gallup strengths coach, Gallup being the global analytical company that helps leaders solve their most pressing problems. And I worked with them. And I still work with them in terms of writing content for resilience around the world. I've been on Dubai TV talking about resilience. And I wrote my book with a lot of about my story and a lot of advice and suggestions and real tips and strategies to help people. And I was delighted that it became an international bestseller. So the point is that my accident focused me. Now, I'm not saying any of you need to go through a trauma to get to where you are, but what focuses you? What do you know you want? And how are you developing that for you? So people buy into the leader before they buy into the vision. What do you want to be known for? I'm going to share 5 tips or 5 particular things with you today. So what do you want to be known for? As a leader, it's about your impact, your influence, and your inspiration. And really, managing people is not easy. Those of you who are parents, you know how hard it is to manage kids, let alone other people. But the point is this. You are the bottom line as a leader, and you've got to make it work. Now, as I said before, that leaders have different characteristics that they bring to the table. And in this era that we live in now, it's about specialization, not being all-rounded and doing everything. So what you need to think about is, what particular thing would you like to be recognized for? How would you like to be an expert in your field? What are the things you're naturally good at? What inspires you? And what is the impact you want to create? And the thing is, once you've decided what it is that you want to be known for, then you've got to think about, how am I developing that? How will I gain mastery? How will I invest in my skills? Do I need more training? Do I need more experience? Do I need to study more? What do I need? How do I practice to become my best self? So number one, to think of, what do you want to be known for? The second thing is about your impact. Now, there are 3 essential elements to business success. And based on the pie model that I'm showing you here by Coleman, he talks about performance, image, and exposure. Now, you might look at this and say, what do you mean performance? Only 10%, I work so hard. We do. We really work hard. But we have that 10% is essential to get right. Okay, we can be good at many things. If we have a growth mindset, we know that we can learn stuff, but we want to be excelling. So what stuff are you going to excel at? Where is your best performance? How are you going to add value to your performance for you, for your organization, for your teams? What is it that gives you your best 10%? Then 30% is about our image. Well, this is about our personal brand. This is about recognizing, if I was to say to you, what 5 words would you use to describe yourself? Do you think the people you work with around you would use those same 5 words about you? So this is about living how you want to be seen, how your performance is, your mastery. How are you living that so people can see this image? Scarily, 60% of our executive success is about our exposure. What does that mean? Who sees you? Outside your immediate team, for example, your immediate contacts, who sees what you do? What networks do you belong to? Do you speak? Do you write? Are you great on social media? What do you do to raise your profile? Now, in this day and age, I think you'll agree with me that we don't often get the feedback we want. We don't often get the appreciation or perhaps the recognition we think we'd like. So it's really down to us to deep dive and say, where are we making our impact? What do we need to do differently to raise our profile? Okay. Number 3, you have to keep evolving to thrive. Now, leadership, as I said, unfortunately, it's not just an expertise. It's a constant investment. And I think it's fair to say that we just never seem to have enough time. But it's really, really important. Over the last 8 years, I've had to reinvent myself 17 times. And anyone who tells you that when things are difficult, think positively and you'll bounce back, it's a load of nonsense. When you're challenged sometimes, and we all get times where we're really challenged, it is sometimes we've got to really claw our way back, really determined effort to move ourselves forward, not just to survive in this difficult climate, but to really thrive. And one thing my accident taught me is that when I did things well, it had actually been unconscious effort. You know, we're naturally good at stuff and we just kind of assume everyone does what we do. And we don't really think very hard about what we do well because it's instinctive in us to do certain things. So this was all done with unconscious effort. What I realized is the huge power of recognizing, bringing to the fore into our conscious mind our talents and the things that we are doing well. Because when you consciously know what those things are that allow you to do things well, and you actually leverage those, it's huge personal wins. I have been able to achieve so many things. I have strengths of achiever and focus and activator, which is making things happen. And these things, when I knew what they are and I was constantly using them, I was able to achieve stuff I didn't think I could. So we have to keep evolving. This, we know through COVID, we've gone through some scary stuff, right? And it keeps changing. The climate keeps changing. We're not in a settled space yet. So we've got to keep thinking, what do we need to do to evolve? How do we invest in ourselves? What's at our fingertips, perhaps that we are not yet leveraging? And not be scared to try. Because every time we try, even if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. That's one thing we've tried. We're one step closer to getting to where we need to be. So keep looking at, what do you need to keep evolving? Where's your greatest potential? Cultivate your self-awareness. This is absolutely paramount. This is taking time to reflect on you, okay? It's about becoming more conscious of your talents, the things that you're good at, your things that motivate you to do well, and things perhaps that make you vulnerable. And it's about really learning that, yes, when things don't go right for us, how do we manage those better? But more importantly, the things we're really good at, how can we really leverage them so that we stand out? Because there's a connection between who people are and what they do best and how they feel and how they perform. And as I said to you, Gallup, analytical company, it's recognized that when you actually work to those strengths, to your talents, we are 6 times more engaged at work. Now, gosh, don't we all need that? Over 40% more productive, 3 times more likely to have an excellent quality of life, and 80% more likely to be part of a high-performing team. So when you're thinking of how you want to evolve and how you want to work, don't get too caught up in trying to fix all the things you're not good at. You have to work around them so they don't slow you down, definitely. But where you will really be at your best, your authentic best, is looking at those things that everyone looks to you at and says, oh my God, you're really good at this. You're really good at that. Take heed of that. What can you do more of so that you really stand out? And then learn to define your personal brand. So this is going back to when we talked in that pie model about your image. This is about your image. Everything has a brand. McDonald's through to Tiffany's, through to Porsche, whatever it might be. And we know when they've got a brand that's very clear, we know it tells us exactly what to expect from that thing. Now we've got to do that for you. You are your own company, your own brand. How do you want to be seen? So think of what you would like people to say about you when you're not in the room. What are the things that you think define you? And how can you ensure that other people understand that, see that, hear that? And this comes round to what you do at your best. So how can you promote that? How can you stand out? How can you build this brand so that people can see? And this is about being your authentic self. This is about recognizing your unique strengths. As I said, other people, other leaders will stand out for what they are. You need to stand out for who you are. This is what we talk about, our authenticity. So we don't need to try to be someone else. We just need to be us. And we need to be the best we can be. So just to say, I hope I've provided you with a little bit of thought here of how you can raise your unique value. And if there's things within this that you think are particularly helpful with you and you'd like to connect with me, do take a shot of this. You can book onto my Calendly if you'd like a chat, or email me if you'd like to, and I'd be delighted to help you a little bit and perhaps talk through some of the things that are on your mind. And guys, thank you so much for spending the time to listen to me now. Let me stop sharing.
Oh, this is a very amazing presentation, and there's a lot of things to learn. And I know that I guess this time is not enough to discuss everything, but maybe in the future, near future, we'll plan a long session with you so the people can get a great benefit from you. So
I'd be
I want to
delighted.
thank you for joining. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, and I wish everyone the very best of luck with the rest of the conference. Thank you.
So let's see with this, we will move towards the next speaker and see who is the next. Hi, Nata. How are you?
Unmute. Hi, Musa. Hi. My great pleasure being here with you today. I have asked some feedback whether my connection is working okay and whether you guys can hear me well. Otherwise, I will try some different strategies. So please give me feedback whether
no, it's perfectly fine.
fine.
We can see you. We can hear you. Everything is perfectly fine. Thanks for joining us today, and I would request you to please introduce yourself to our audience.
Sure. Thank you. Great pleasure. Great pleasure and great honor being here together with you guys and listening to these amazing contributions and learning and sharing together. So I'm Nataliya Wiedemeyer, a founder of a company Graviteams, and Graviteams stands for Gravity in Organizational Teams. I'm a team coach. I'm a business coach, and I also do a lot of consulting work. So I'm coming from the corporate background as well, as Laura was sharing. And so I have seen the corporate world on the one hand side, and now I have moved to the entrepreneurial world. And obviously the topic of our conference today, the topic of women in business, women in leadership, is very close to my personal faith and to my professional experiences. And sure, my great honor and pleasure to be willing to share it today with you guys. All right. Then I guess I'll just go ahead, right?
Yeah. So we can move towards your topic of the day.
Exactly. So women in leadership and women in business is something that we seeing a lot, and that's in a great demand on all the sides. And we having these conferences, we having women networks, and I think every large organization, every mid-sized organization is having women empowerment and women development programs. And we have already come some way. Nowadays, in 2020, we have about 1/3 of all businesses are owned by a woman, and they, create job opportunities, develop and sell great products, and attract investments. But what we see that these companies are usually a lot smaller than those of our male counterparts, and they attract just around 7% of, for example, venture capital investment. So there's still a way to develop women entrepreneurship, women business. And if you look at the organization and the large corporate side, then we also can see that we have moved a long way. In year 2020, about 22% of all board seats are taken by a woman. up from about 12.5 in 2010 and around 15 in 2015. But one thing that strikes, like if you're really talking about not only, like the numbers of women on boards, but actually of quality of the engagement. And if we look at, like the balance that we see in organizational teams and especially in boards, it's about only 5 to 6% of organizations that have truly balanced boards. And what do I mean by balanced boards? In many organizations, in many parts of the world, bringing women into leadership is part of organizational or national programs. So there is a regulation to be having more women on board. So many organizations, create some positions, chief of whatever, diversity, just to be bringing women on board. And women are there, so they're taking those board places, but they are actually not really participating in the decision making and in the strategic development of the organizations. And this is something where I see this added value. And if we look at the like the quality of the balanced board, we see that there's great potential. And to me, balanced teams and balanced boards is more than just like having equal representation of each gender, but it's more about the energies and the synergies that we are bringing. And women empowerment is good, but it's the synergy that's working together. When we, on one hand side, we are having these men-like qualities like assertiveness, decisiveness, ambition, competitiveness, and they are enhanced on the other hand side with women-like qualities of empathetic and supportive influences and collaborative cultures. Now, I'm not saying that, like assertiveness comes only from men and sympathetic collaborative culture influences coming only from women. But this is how we usually consciously and subconsciously attributed to our gender roles. So for me, as a team coach, I think that would be my paradise if you were having if it wouldn't really matter whether we're having a woman, a CEO, or a man, but this team is having, like decisiveness, assertiveness, ambition on the one hand side, and collaborative cultures on the other hand side, and would be just very harmonic, productive, and high performing. I think that would be, for a team coach, that would be a paradise, right? So this is to the organizational structures. Now, another challenge that I'm addressing today and that I see as very important is the world is changing, right? So we are living in the world of rapid exponential innovation, and we are having all those new technologies that double every whatever number of months, and we somehow have to find ways not only to go along with them, but to ride that wave of innovation, right? So we are talking about those technologies of robots and drones and artificial intelligence and more connectivity. And I think in a couple of years, we will be having even more of those, maybe some microsatellites that will be traveling around us and collecting even more data. And this all information that we are having there, we need to find new ways of how to deal with this information, how to prioritize, how to structure, how to deliver, how to make sense of that. It comes with new skills, how we want, like this is critical thinking, this is prioritization, this is creativity, imagination, complex problem solving. And also the way how we communicate, it has been changing. Laura was talking about our exposure, how we expose ourselves, and these invisible audiences, even, like in past times we were talking to people and we knew who is listening to us, and today it's a lot about how we are perceived out there, even if you do not have always a full understanding and full control of who our audiences are. And all these changes obviously call for different ways to be doing business to thrive in the business world. So I'm currently involved in this amazing program that is called Ex-Fab Women. FAB stands for fabulous, but it also stands for Future Advisory Board, where we are addressing those two challenges at the same time. So on the one hand side, we are giving women the skills and the knowledge and the network to become future fit and future ready. And on the other hand side, we are giving them this knowledge of innovation that they can bring the ability for organizations to thrive in the present and in the future of this world. So if anyone is interested to find out more about the program, you're very welcome to contact me on LinkedIn or on email or otherwise. Find me. It's nowadays it's very easy, and I would love to share. And what I would like to share a little bit, like small things that we will be addressing in that program, and I think that are very important in this world of constant innovation. So one of the things that we are addressing there is foster digital mindset. And when we are talking about digital mindset, we are obviously not talking only about how we use technology or how we go online or how we do things. It's just the way how technology changed our attitudes and behaviors and enable peoples and organizations to integrate technology in our daily lives and to create sustainable business models.
Perfect.
So would you like to ask?
Useful and it's
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
I
much.
was just I guess there is a delay in my sound reaching to you.
Okay. If that's the case, I can try to switch to my mobile phone and we can check whether that one is better.
That's fine. I guess you can go ahead with your complete your presentation.
Okay, then I'll just go ahead. So thank you. All right. The other aspect that we are talking about this innovative business women development program is exponential dynamic, right? So we will be talking about what does it take for organizations to tap into the full potential of digital opportunities, and what are some organizations like Google, Amazon, Airbnb, and some of the others are doing differently, so that they have, that they utilize their adaptability and their flexibility to achieve the levels of business development and growth that are just of a different order of magnitude than anything in their industries or in around their peers, like it is tenfold or hundredfold. So how do they do that? What do they do differently? And another aspect that I would like to highlight is this performance management, right? So since the pandemic, we have seen that we do not have to limit ourselves to our office, and we do not have to limit ourselves to the talent that we can reach, that can reach our office within 1 hour commute, but we can hire globally, we can engage people globally, and it brings different aspects, because also people who are engaged, they engage in a different level. So it's more about connecting to purpose. It's more about finding your, optimal way to engage with people. So this is something that we will be dealing in depth in that program. And something else that I would like to talk with you about today is how women and this, feminine contribution to better leadership and to better organizational cultures can create more opportunities. And with that, I would like to maybe motivate more men to include women in their leadership programs, and to motivate women to step to the next step of their, business or entrepreneurial success or in the organizations, right? So women are usually the style of leadership that women are doing is usually more transformational, right? So women lead through inspiration and finding purpose, and they are better than men in that, who are more transactional and more based on here's the task and here's how you complete the task, and this is more control and command, and it just has been shown that transformational leadership style that comes more naturally to women. I'm not saying that men cannot do that, but it seems to be coming more naturally to women because women just spend more time trying to win over people's souls and hearts and convince them of the purpose behind whatever they do. And in this way, they not only change, like they are not seeking to force change behaviors, but they change beliefs and attitudes. And this brings to better performance and better leadership, success in leadership. Women also put themselves more back, so they blend more with the team, rather than men who used to be, like especially in past times when it was a lot more about the corner office or better title. Now it's not anything about it, and you can never achieve something great if your focus is on you. And again, this comes more naturally to women, and when these influences are coming abroad to the organization, to leadership teams, then you can utilize and engage more of a team. And again, something very dear to my heart as a team development coach. Women create better emotional connection, and this might come as a comparative advantage in this world of different technologies and artificial intelligence that is taking a lot of tasks, of hard tasks that were taken by leaders in the past, like like a lot on reporting and a lot of administration and a lot of task distribution and collecting. They are gaining less and less attention, and instead things like like when we work among people and with people, things like validation, appreciation, empathy, they can only be expressed from human to human. And again, women have a comparative advantage of that, obviously, regarding artificial intelligences, but they are more natural in that than men are. And the last aspect that I would like to highlight is this self-awareness. And Laura was also talking about self-awareness, that self-awareness is something that any leader, any successful business entrepreneur would need. And this aspect, I would like to put self-awareness as opposite to self-confidence and overconfidence that comes more naturally to men, right? A lot of women say, and a lot of women do, like personal development program and personal development studies because they want to gain more self-confidence, because they want to be more assertive, more confident, more secure in what they're doing. But what we are seeing in leadership, that many women have already reached that stage and they are very confident in themselves, but it's a different type of confidence when you are self-aware. So you know your strengths, and I'm also a great fan of working with strengths because it's just so motivational. So Laura, great regards. But it's also very important to know own limitations, right? So being more realistic and being more mindful of what can I do and where I, may engage someone to do it better than I do, engage the team, or learn something, or prepare, or even over-prepare, right? So that creates better possibilities and better ways to lead, to create business, and to become successful, all right? So that's to that part, and I hope I have given you some insights of why it's very much worth it to going for leadership and to going for the next step in developing your business. And just to close up, in the past 2 years, we have seen that all these, like more soft qualities, where women especially are good at, right? So it's about the pandemic has shown us how important the aspects of mental health and work-life balance and the danger of burnout are so important to be addressed. And companies that have balanced teams and women in their leadership teams who were able to bring more emotional support and to distribute work more evenly and to combine to find ways to address work and life challenges better, have made better results and were more successful coming through the pandemic. So that's the way to go.
That's amazing.
Thank you
Your
so much.
The thoughts are very beautiful, and I'm sure our audience has got a lot of value out of it. And I want to thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you so much, dear Musa. It was my great pleasure. And I wish you a successful and engaging continuing conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. With this, we will move towards our next speaker of the day.
Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Tamer Matwani, and I am the Dean of Berkeley Me School of Management and Science. Today, I would like to explain some exciting courses for you. First of all, there's a certified CFO that we actually offer. And if you're in the financial sector, this is a great course, especially if you want to excel, or if you're into the management, or even if you're in a CFO yourself at the moment. We provide practical case studies, and these are great for you to enhance your skills. In addition to that, it's great recognition to become also a certified CFO, which you become a specialty. So that's one thing that is really important for that course. In addition to that, we also provide a certified CEO course. So again, if you're in a management, or if you're a general manager, or if you're in a CEO currently, again, we actually provide case studies relating to this particular management, and for you to enhance your skills, especially with problem solving, strategies, etc. In addition to that, we also provide a number of other exciting courses, such as your logistics or your chain supply management, your human resources, project management, marketing. We also have law, and we have a lot of other accounting courses as well. In addition to that, we also very excited that we give you the opportunity, to not just becoming a certified CFO or CEO or certified human resource manager, but we also offer you the chance to conduct your masters with us, so we can offer that to you. It's only a 12 months online to complete your masters, and once you've done that, we can also offer you to complete your doctorates as well. So we offer DPA, we also offer PhD, and we also offer international doctorates and many other types of doctorates we also offer. So if you are really interested in any of these great courses, that will give you great recognition for you, and beside the recognition, it will give you that investment to enhance your skills, something that you can take back to work and to implement and to be better professional at your workplace. So if you are actually quite interested in any of these courses, please visit our website, which is berkeleyme.org, and there's all the courses structured, laid out very well. You can have all your details if you can just type your details on the inquiry page, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Hi, Marianna. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon, evening, good morning, depends on where the world is watching us today. A great pleasure to
Right.
meet
We
you,
have
Dr.
a
Musa.
global audience and they are listening us from all over the world. So you are right that we have to greet all to handle all of them. So
Indeed.
thanks for joining us today. And I would request you to please introduce formally yourself to the audience.
Sure. Thank you for the invitation. A great pleasure to be at this session and to hopefully, by bringing my example of entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial life and expertise, help and inspire others. My name is Marianna Bulbuc. I'm the CEO and managing partner of Bismosis Group. Bismosis Group is a company or a group of companies that have been formed in Dubai. However, is now recognized as one of the most renowned government affairs agency in the Middle East. I am passionate about diplomatic and diplomatic relationships, and since a young age, I have dedicated myself into building this relationship, into promoting investment across borders, and to promoting access to funds, to startups, and to young talents. And I have a background of economics, finance, and insurance in my European master degrees. I'm a resident of over 12 years in the UAE, a proud golden visa honorary holder, 10 years golden visa of the UAE, and a let's say humble entrepreneur that likes to share expertise and experience to the world and to the women out there, but not only, that I hope can help and motivate others to become successful.
That's an amazing introduction. You have a lot of things in your plate. So with this, I would request you to please go ahead with your topic of the day.
Thank you, Dr. Musa. Once again, good evening, morning, good afternoon to those that are watching today. Today's topic is women empowerment, and I intentionally have kept it this broad because I wanted to discuss not just what we can do now to fix the imbalance in women versus men in leadership or in entrepreneurship. I wanted also to discuss with you in what we can do to prevent. So I would start with my personal example. I am originally from Republic of Moldova. I have come and I'm born during the Soviet time, and then while our country has become independent, I have gone with my family through the challenges of a country that is freshly gaining independence, the challenges of let's say of access to resources, to a comfort life, to supplies to a newly born countries post the Soviet Union fall apart. And the first women that I have admired and learned from were, of course, my mom and my grandma. They were the ones that have pulled the family across many challenges. They are the ones that, despite any problem, any day that it was hard to find and put food on the table for many in the country, they have kept a smile on their face and kept us, myself, my brother, and all our cousins happy, fed, active, and invested in our education and growth. So my mom always had a saying that now drives me across years and across troubles. And she always used to say, you have to hope for the best, but always prepare for the worst. And this is a quite common saying in Europe. And it's important for us to understand that having hope is mandatory for us to grow, for us to develop ourselves, be it as a family member or a professional in a work environment, or as an entrepreneur and a leader of your own business. You have to have hope, but hope means nothing if you do not take actions to reach to the targets of your hope. Hopes without actions become a source of disappointment, and disappointment is when we become afraid of what's coming ahead, because we think that failure is guaranteed. My mom, my grandma, my women in life have been also supported by, of course, the men in our life, my father, my grandfather, and many other men of the family. We can't be strong without each other. We can't be strong if we are going alone, but we can succeed if we give enough support to each other, if we give equal access to those opportunities, and if we adapt to the needs of women or men. Because yes, we are all able to be leaders. We are all able to grow and learn. We are all able to become a better version, but we have to have conditions and benefits adapted to our needs. Women needs and men needs are not equal. Women, from, let's say, physiological needs to the emotional, mental way of how we act, think, or react, as Laura and Nataliya ahead of me have spoken, are different from how men, we're talking generally, right, act, react, and feel or make decisions. So it is important that the environments that we grow in, the environments that now come ahead in front of us as women in entrepreneurship, are not just spoken about, inclusion and opportunities to be equal. We need to understand that the conditions also have to be adjusted to the women needs or men needs. And here I'll give you the simple example. During COVID, I think the most viral videos that went across the globe, at the beginning at least, of work from home, were the videos where moms or dads working from home had kids running into the rooms, or pets and animals jumping across the video cameras. And it was a shock at the beginning, but it became a normal. After over a year of people working from home, it became not just normal, it became kindness and love and embracing when the kids participated with their moms or with their dads into those business sessions. So creating conditions for women to take maternity leave or not, have their children throughout the growth of their career or not, it's equal to the rights of men having access to paternity leave or not. So it is very important that we don't just give equal access. We also need to give adjusted and adapted conditions and needs to the needs of either women or men. However, we have seen in the history until date that the needs, that the accommodation of women's growth and needs while they grow are still not there. So it's a very low percentage till date globally where women can still have a young child and join work and not be criticized or judged for it, where women are not put to choose between maternity or career growth, where entrepreneurship is not just about making money, but it's about the human factor and building talents and growing talents. So before I move ahead with how we can empower each other, in my humble opinion, what first all of us should do, women and men, is focus on how we grow the generation that comes behind us. We cannot fix a problem just by addressing the existing issue. We have to start fixing the future by building it correctly from the beginning. We need to educate our children and our girls and our boys and girls and daughters and sons that it's normal. It's normal for women to not have to choose. It's normal for conditions to be adapted to women or men needs. It's normal to have inclusion and equal access to opportunities and potential career growth. It is normal to challenge the bias and to challenge those misconceptions. And it is normal for women to be bold and fearless and, motor racing or getting in extreme sports, or stay at home and take care of children and family, and vice versa. It's normal for men to be bold and fearless, or to stay home and assist his wife into her career growth and take paternity leave and take care of the children. Before we only focus on addressing the problem, we also need not to forget the generation that comes is still built by us, and it is our duty to prevent that the women that come ahead in our future do not have to go through the same challenges, because we have contributed to the education, to the growth, to the development of the younger generation towards understanding and promoting that equal access and that tailored approach to the talent, the gender, or the ability of the person that is hired or promoted into a leadership role. Now, women empowerment is important, and many, let's say, critics come and say, well, why women empowerment is important and men it's not? And that's not correct. Those that say that women empowerment is important do not refer that the vice versa, men are not to have enough attention. What they want to say is that it is time that women have the right, at least equal attention to what men have had through the decades and through the history. It is important that we as women support each other. It is important that we as women contribute to being more understanding and more giving when we are the ones that succeed, to pull behind those that are coming with us. It is important that we as women are advocates for each other. And it's also important that we support and sustain the men in our lives to support this advocacy, to support our growth, and to support other women in their growth. Since childhood, I have been always passionate about diplomacy, about commercial relationships, about interpersonal relationships. And this way I have built a habit of thinking outside the box and a habit of challenging things that didn't make sense to me. Of course, this didn't help me always. And in some instances, leaders, mostly men, coming from an Eastern European country that is quite majorly impacted by men representation and leadership, many haven't agreed with my approach on challenging things that don't make sense. Many have not accepted or supported my outside of the box thinking. They have constantly asked me to go into those rudimentary standard operating procedures and follow the hierarchy and do not think outside what you've been told to think. You're young, you're a woman, you don't know what you're talking about. However, these challenges and these people are the ones who actually made me be who I am today. So what I want to tell all the women out there, many are struggling due to either cultural, educational, religious, or country or circumstances that they're in. They are challenged by the opportunities ahead. They are challenged by the leadership in front of them. They are challenged by the people who force them to go into a structure. And it is very important for us not to build grudge and anger against these people that challenge us, but embrace that challenge and learn from it and find a way on how that challenge can develop or help you develop a new skill. For example, many in said challenges have taught me to stop and think and see the perspective of the person in front of me. And instead of just going there with impulse and passion and presenting my idea, these challenging peoples have taught me to actually start building arguments and go with correct arguments. And then if you go with correct arguments and you're still challenged, in that case, make the step and change the circumstances that you're in and build yourself into your path that helps you rather than push you down. So it is very important that we embrace those that challenge us, embrace those that don't accept us or our ideas, and then analyze why is that difference, how that difference can be discussed, how facts and arguments can be brought to the table to change the mind of the person in front of you, or maybe in some instances, change your perspective on things or help you mediate. And if neither of that works, you have to make a strategy, make a plan, and move from that toxic environment. Environments can be toxic due to relatives and personal life, or due to employees or leaders in work environment, or entrepreneurship life when you have to partner or work or negotiate or employ people that drain you and your energy and distract you from your goal by being unfair and unreasonably challenging. It is important that thinking outside the box is one of the traits that you develop. And many do not understand it. I didn't understand it. I was at university and everybody kept thinking about or talking about thinking outside the box. And you're like, I don't even see the box. How can I think outside of it? Thinking outside the box does not actually have a specific structure, or it does not enforce you to not follow the rules and regulation. The sentence of thinking outside the box is, in my perspective, more about do not allow yourself to get stuck with situations where by not seeing a solution, you become desperate. And then you either become complacent with the situation that you're in and you don't make changes, and your life quality, your happiness, your opportunities are decreasing and getting lost. Or you are accepting the situation, you come into a cycle of not finding a solution, and then you just give up on your hopes and on your goals. So thinking outside the box means at any point in time, with whatever circumstance and personal or professional life that you're in, if there is a moment that you think that there is no other way, I can assure you that there is another way. Just do not give up. Try and look at things from another perspective, or try and do small steps instead of solving the whole problem. Try and solve small steps at a time and build a ladder of solutions. You would fail a small step, you would learn from it, and you'll find another option. Doing nothing means that you're just sitting there complacent and you're not moving forward, and then you are contributing to the situation that is for you at that point unsolvable. I'm thankful in my life for the mentors and leaders and colleagues that supported me in my growth. It is impossible, and do not believe people that tell you that I by myself, the mighty, have become or built everything, an empire, a career, a family, a perfect family, entirely by myself. It is impossible. You have to associate yourself with people that lift you up. You have to find mentors, ask for help, approach people that can help you. We had beautiful Nataliya today presenting a group of expats, entrepreneurs. I'm pretty sure that if you become a member of that group and you start asking questions, there would be people who would be able to help. And also, if you are approaching other mentors and other specialists in your industry, they will be more than happy to assist or redirect you. Make the first step and ask for help. Find mentor and coaches and empower yourself with the people around you. Mr. Musa, I'll enclose the final, let's say, idea of my presentation.
I will request you for the final remarks for the day.
Yes. And here I want to speak more about giving back. So we are making sure that we develop the generations ahead. We are making sure that we contribute to making not just equal rights, but adapted opportunities to gender needs. We are surrounding ourselves with the people that can help us, and we ask for help. We make sure that we do not focus on the problem, but we try and find solutions and make small steps at a time in order to make a resolution of the problem. But we also don't forget to give back. As gifts, we like to give gifts, and we like the reaction and the happiness that gifts brings. Wherever we are in life, you don't have to be a billionaire to start helping others. In any point in time, if you have learned something and that lesson can help others, you have to give back. It will help you, it will build networks, it will help you build relationships, have support, create a network, and also help the society grow and help other women entrepreneurs to follow your steps, learn from your mistakes, and become successful. Thank you, everybody. I think that's it. It's a wrap up on my thoughts and life experience.
Very much for joining us today.
A great pleasure. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Thank you very much. And let's see who is the next speaker of the day.
are a diverse team of experts and industry professionals. In a world of complexity and opportunities, organizations are trying to make new connections and find new ways of innovating. We collaborate with our clients to understand them and help solving their complex industry issues. To optimize their solutions so they can stand out and realize long-lasting results. We offer our clients financial services, HR and business solutions, accounting services, tax and audit, among others. To know more about what Berkeley Middle East can offer you, please log to
Hi, Anna, how are you? I guess your mic is mute. If you can unmute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's always happened. I'm okay, thank
Thanks
you.
for joining us today.
So yeah, just let me just make some
Yeah, I would request you to please introduce yourself with our audience for a formal introduction.
Okay, so I'll just make some short introduction. I'm a business owner, project manager, and software developer. So I'm an 100% of an IT person, and this perfectly describes me and my life.
That's a very short and quick and impressive introduction about yourself. So what you would like today to talk on?
I just would like to talk about women business in the Middle East on example of my own business.
That's great. So women business in the Middle East, and the mic is in your hands. Please go ahead.
Okay, so let me share my screen. First, I would like to thank you for the invitation to take part in this conference. So this is a great opportunity to share my experience, thoughts, and vision. And I would like to apologize for my voice, so that's why my presentation will not be long. So first I would like to start the presentation by introducing myself. I'm a founder and CEO of Anasoft and the board member at Eurasia Gulf. As I said, I'm a software developer, project manager with 20 years of experience in the IT field. I have master's degrees in mathematics and finance, and currently I'm pursuing my MBA degree at the University of Manchester. So I think that the best way to speak about women business in the Middle East is to tell you about my own experience. So I would like to share my own story of building a business in the United Arab Emirates. I moved to Dubai in 2015. As many UAE expatriates, I was so delighted with this country and opportunities it provided. So communicating with the owners of small and medium-sized businesses, I concluded that there was no high-quality software for automating business processes in this segment. As a result, I decided to develop my own application, ERP for small and mid-sized businesses that complies with local regulations. To promote my product in 2016, I founded Anasoft. So from that moment on, a new chapter of my life began. Perhaps I should mention that before I had never run my own business. It was a very risky step to open a business in a foreign country in the Muslim male world in the field of high technologies. So in 2018, Anasoft became the official partner of 1C company in the United Arab Emirates. So what is 1C? Just a couple of words. 1C is the leading software vendor in Eastern Europe that provides scalable and flexible technologies. So, and I need to say that I develop all my application on the basis of 1C platform. So, as I mentioned before, I developed Anasoft ERP Prime, and this is a core product of my company. So on the slide, you can see a certificate of copyright for this product under my name. In 5 years, the company has become really successful. So I signed the contracts with big oil and gas companies for the development and implementation of software. So what I would like to emphasize about Anasoft, I founded my company with only my knowledge, experience, and time. So, and without any capital investment. So if you ask me, is it easy to operate in this market? Definitely not. So despite all the efforts that the government takes to support women business, achieve gender equality, this world still remains a male world. So business owners still prefer to do business with men, especially in information technology industry. So in 2021, I joined the Eurasia Gulf as a board member and the head of technology and innovation committee. So a couple of words about Eurasia Gulf. Eurasia Gulf is a business networking platform. It plays a leading role in connecting businesses between the GCC countries and the countries of Eastern Europe and Central Asia, such as Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, and others. So as the head of the committee, my main goal is to promote innovations and technologies from Russia, the Commonwealth of Independent States, and the Baltic states and the GCC countries. So why did I decide to start this activity? I know there is a lot of interest in our technology among government and business leaders, but there is a very big communication gap. So I help to establish connections with our companies that produce innovative technologies and provide IT services in order to improve the quality of IT services and the level of digitalization in GCC countries. So as I mentioned, with problem of my voice, my presentation will not be long. So what I would like to note at the end of my presentation, to do business in the Middle East, you need to have a strong character, confidence, as well as unlimited faith in yourself, in what you do. So yes, it can take longer to achieve success, I mean for women, but the main thing is not to give up and confidently go towards your goal. I can say that I built my life by myself without any help. So 7 years ago, I arrived to the United Arab Emirates with zero on my bank account, with no knowledge in English, so that's true, with no experience of living abroad. Now I have a successful business, a lot of amazing connections, and many ideas and projects to develop. So what I can say, impossible is possible, so just believe in yourself. So thank you for your attention and have a great day ahead.
Amazing. That's a lovely introduction about yourself and your achievement. You are true inspiration for those people who come in this country and grow over the passage of time. I guess there's a lot of things to learn from you, and being you're a part of our women community, and obviously we will be contacting you further in order to assist our good help for the upcoming women. So I want to thank you for joining us today, and I'm looking forward to have you more and more in our next shows.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you.
Oh, what a lovely day and what a lovely discussion. What a beautiful thoughts. I mean, if anyone implement 20% of these experience talks, you can expect a great change in your life, in yourself. And I'm very sure that our audience has got a great value out of these thoughts. And we will definitely continue our episodes every month with new ladies, new women who are successful, who know how to do business. They have different kind of lives. They have work balance. They balance their kids, their husbands with their jobs and with their businesses. So keep watching us. Stay tuned. And till the next event, take care of yourself. Goodbye.